Should we be working with Iran on this matter? Republican Congressman Randy Forbes, member of the House Armed Services Committee. Nice to see you in studio here.
Good to see you, Bill.
In New York. Samantha on ABC said the United States will not act alone. What does that mean?
Well, Bill, we oftentimes don't know what this administration means when it says anything, and unfortunately our allies are the same way. But we're very concerned about Secretary Kerry and any kind of deals he might strike with Iran. We still have to remember, Iran is a major, major concern for many of us around the world. If they get a nuclear weapon, it's a huge game changer in the Middle East. So it's a very, very concerning process that we're monitoring very carefully right now.
Let me continue about the nuke program in a moment here, but just to finish this ISIS point, it will be up to each country to announce for itself whether it's prepared to participate. That's a long way from you're either with us or you're against us.
Well, Bill, that's the problem. Over and over again, these world leaders are telling me when we meet with them that we need American leadership. American leadership isn't sitting back and just saying we're going to wait and see what other countries do. America still has that leadership role that we need to step up and help bring this together. We haven't seen this from this administration. We're not seeing it now.
I mentioned the interview on ABC. This deals directly when she was asked the question about whether or not Iran will cooperate on these ISIS terrorists. Watch here.
We are not coordinating military operations or sharing intelligence with Iran. I think what the Secretary meant was that Iran has made clear that it too views ISIL as an enemy and as a threat. And so in that respect, all of our operations are oriented around the objective of degrading and destroying ISIL, and we're waiting to hear whether Iran thinks it has a constructive role to play.
Now, I don't know where you are on that, but it sounds to me that they want a nuclear deal, and it's in exchange for their cooperation.
Which, Bill, we think would be absolutely foolish. We have to remember that a nuclear Iran is the most threatening thing to world peace today. We cannot allow that to happen. Very concerned about any negotiations they're having with Iran right now. But a bigger part of this, Bill, is that our allies don't know where the United States is right now, and they're very concerned about before they make any kind of commitment to do anything against ISIL.
Are you entirely 100% against talking to Iran? Do you see no value in that, or do you see some value in it?
I am not 100% against even talking to Iran. I think the big concern, though, that I have right now is any kind of negotiations with Iran, especially when you come even close to doing anything that would put those sanctions back on the table or anything that Iran would do relative to a nuclear deal.
The nuclear deal, I mean, this just gets stretched out longer and longer, and it just
And Bill, we've been saying all along that this was a foolish thing, but it's not just Iran. You can walk around the globe at the poor strategy this administration has had. Iran is just one of them. The number one thing the Iranians wanted is to get those sanctions off. We just gave it to them. We knew all along that they weren't going to come up with much of a deal with the Iranians. I think we're finding that to be the case now, and we'll continue to find that.
One more point, and I'll go back to the original point I was making here. If you're trying to get Iran's cooperation on ISIS, follow me. They're Persian, they're Shia, they operate the Shia militias in Iraq today. Where's the incentive for a Shia militia member to go into Sunni territory and take out an ISIS Sunni terrorist?
Well, Bill, it's even more than where's the incentive. I think it's where's the trust. How do you know what Iran's going to do today versus tomorrow versus the next day? I think what this administration's got to do is develop a strategy that doesn't have to have Iran in it, that brings the rest of our allies in to try to deal with ISIL. They have not done that yet, even though they've talked about doing that.
Well, we talked about the UN General Assembly meeting here in New York this week. It's going to be a busy week, and we'll see what headlines come from it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Randy
you, Bill.
Forbes here in New York.